All right, welcome back. Mr. Jake Epelle joins us this morning, founder, CEO, TAF Africa. Good morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Chamberlain.
So, I don't know, does that comment from the governor weather the storm? Because several people have been up in arms about different things. But if he says, no price, too much to pay for peace, where do we go from here?
You know, Chamberlain, I listened to that, and I'm a bit concerned in the sense that I'm asking myself, is the governor body language telling us what to come? Is he going to sacrifice himself for the interest of the so-called peace? It's a question that that is begging for an answer. You know.
What do you mean sacrifice himself?
Definitely, what is in the media and what I've been told that was a directive from the president is suicidal. He has signed his own political exit, as far as I'm concerned. And I want to believe that he didn't, you know, because both the president's meeting and directive is absolutely an aberration on the Constitution of Nigeria.
But if the governor says no price is too big to pay for peace, means that probably he's thinking about, look, sheath or swords, let there be peace. But if people keep pushing him and goading them to do all of those things, no, I'm just saying, if that's the case, wouldn't they be the ones now feel, if he has said this before, and people say, no, we don't agree with this, take it back, and then probably he does one or two other things, of course it will have a spiral effect.
The truth is that Sim Fubara must know that he's the governor of a state elected by the people. He doesn't even have the right of his own to disown us or abandon his position.
Is that disowning if he says no price too big for peace?
My brother, the truth is, you don't get peace at the platter of appeasement. That's just the truth. We tried it with Hitler. It never worked.
But did he say he signed or didn't sign that agreement?
That's what we need to know. He has not been able, he's been too reticent for my liking. He has not been able to come out to say whether he was there, whether he signed, whether the signature that we're seeing are his, you know, because we're talking about a state that I'm part of. I am very concerned and sometimes sleepless about what is happening in the state, about how one individual thinks he's in absolute control of a state that is bigger than him and bigger than his ambition. What kind of stupid structure are we talking about when the structure you're suing for is more important to you than the structure of the state?
But have we bothered to ask ourselves, what was the agreement even before Sim became a candidate and governor? Do we know?
Well, that is left for Sim. You know, if I were Sim and I was in that meeting, I would simply tell the president that after this meeting, I will throw in my resignation. People should be able to stand for what they believe. And that's the typical Opopo man. We are not interested in how much you have or what position you're keeping. We hold our name so dear that we are ready to sacrifice anything and everything to keep our name. These enemies of democracy must be brought to book.
Well, so is this about where he's from?
No, it's not about where he's from. The ultimate place he comes from is River State.
Indeed, but it would seem that, you know, within Rivers, we've been hearing some voices louder than others in terms of, you know, how he should behave and how he's not conducting himself as governor.
Well, it's not a question of where he comes from. It's a question of protection, protecting the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which every one of them swore an oath to uphold. That's the question. It's not an ethnicity. It has nothing to do where he comes from. It has everything to do with the common people that this giant are suffocating.
All right, let's bring in our colleagues from Lagos.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. You know, one of the challenges, Mr. Epelle, that a number of people will be looking at here is the people. At the end of the day, it's always about the people. And so the question that you have been raised over time is the constitutionality of the issue. But there are those who are pointing to the issue being more of a political one than a legal or constitutional one. For which reason, some people believe that is why the president, intervened to bring in a political resolution and not necessarily a constitutional or unconstitutional approach, just a political solution. Because, of course, you know that this issue has been brewing for a while. How do you respond?
Solution, no matter what it looks like, is not above the constitution of the country. As a matter of fact, a peaceful resolution will come from upholding the constitutions, the values, the tenets. The framers of the constitution did it in order to ensure that issues like this will be resolved. So, my brother, is not more of the political gains, but the constitutionality of what they are doing.
So, in what way, Mr. Epelle?
And
just a second.
I believe that
just
peace
1 second,
is paramount.
Just
There's
1
no
second.
doubt about that.
In
but
what way?
You cannot obtain peace on the of appeasement. I will keep saying this.
In what way has the president's intervention breached the Constitution?
I guess I'm not hearing you. But whatever happens, we need to continue. I believe that proper dialogue is required, where the two parties are brought to look at the issues objectively, not one-sidedly, because the meeting, from what we read, is obvious that it was a one-sided meeting where a certain clique of the other camp had the upper hand. And it looks to me like Fubara was muzzled and almost held on his throat to agree to what is being out there that he agreed to. I think it's also necessary for him to come out to say whether he truly signed those documents and agreed to the terms of that document for the interest of the people, And the people of Rivers State must not be taken for granted. We are very resilient. We can stand for what is right, even where it means our own tears.
Yeah, Mr. Epelle, without disregard for the Constitution, it would seem like, in the light of the circumstances, a political solution is what is required to solve, the problem at hand. But, following upon the president's intervention, we understand that a former governor of Rivers State was present, and one would wonder why, if a former governor of Rivers State was present, the agreements reached was such that Governor Fubara got the short end of the stick and there was no balance. And why do you think also that elders in Rivers State are now only just finding their voice to complain about why the agreements are one-sided? Why? Why is this so?
Well, you can be in the room and not have a voice. Nobody had told us what the likes of Chief Odili said. Nobody had told us who else were there in the room and what they said. Can they come out to say that they all appended their signature to the terms of that directive or agreement, whatever it is? Now, don't forget, I am an advocate for peace. I am an advocate for peaceful resolution. But this thing we keep talking about, political resolution, will political resolution be seen to be over and above constitutional resolution? There's a constitutional provision. I'm not a lawyer, but I think I've read well enough to know that 109 subsection 1G is absolutely clear. There's no ambiguity. You don't need to be a lawyer to read that and understand exactly what that clause has said. So
again,
I think that political... Go ahead.
Again, I'd like to, talk politics rather than the Constitution. So going by this agreement now, should we be in doubt, about views now being expressed by the opposition that the agreement has been designed to hand over the political structure of Rivers State to Minister Nyesom Wike?
Well, I don't know what handing over the political structure of Rivers State to whoever. But for heaven's sake, Wike is not Rivers State. He's not the only indigenous of Rivers State. All of us have a stake. All of us are stakeholders. And he cannot determine what happens in Rivers State all by himself. It is an aberration. He's been the former governor of the state. He should remain that way. And by the way, Honorable Minister, if you're listening to me this morning, save your legacy. You have served the people. You've done well in certain quarters. What you're doing right now will eventually erase every legacy that you have left behind. Every leader that leads well, that will lead well, will always leave the place he has led intact. And don't let history remember you for an impending crisis. And we must not allow that to happen. Every Rivers State person should stand up for what is right in peace.
What is the former governor asking of the current governor? Do you know?
Well, the terms are there. Let's go by the terms of what they have put out. Reinstate the people.
No. Before, what led to all this in the first place? Because you're asking him to save his legacy. So one assumes that you know what he's asking the governor to do. Well, that is not right.
Well, Chamberlain, this is a smart journalistic question, but let me answer you. The more I know, the much I know, is the crisis between him and his predecessor. And there is no doubt, you don't need an IQ of a mushroom to know that all is not well.
Yeah, but we don't know what exactly the issue is.
Well, two of them will come out and tell us what the issues are. Two of them should come out and tell us what the issues are.
Because we had some former governors on this show, ministers, who said a thing, and then they go out and say they were misquoted. I was like, misquoted? Look, this is on tape.
I'm not saying anything. Quote me tomorrow.
The reason why, I'm bringing all of this is this. Former Governor Dili had a function, and messages are circulating that what? They didn't pass certain things through him, he didn't agree. Did he speak to that matter? Nobody heard anything of it.
That's why, Chamberlain, that's why I'm saying to our elders, this is the time to stand for what is true. This is the time to speak up. If I were Governor Dili, I would come on a show like this and said to the entire country, I wasn't part of that agreement. I didn't agree. Or I agreed.
So because people are going about certain things, and the people who are even in the area tell us what exactly is the issue. Don't let people keep going down a path. At the end of the day, you now hear that they've settled the matter.
Well, unfortunately, the only person...
So what was all the hot air about?
The only person who is talking is Wike, because he seems to have control of the media. The other person, which is him, have been practicing reticent strategy, which does not help.
When you say he has control of the media, some people say, oh, hold on. The media is available to everybody who wants to speak. I mean, when the current governor is saying, oh, no price too big to pay for peace, it is this same media that has carried it on the front pages. So when you say he's in control of the media, precisely what do you mean?
No. What I'm saying is Mr. Wike seems to be the darling of the media. He knows how to sensationalize issues.
Very much like you're the darling of the media.
Well, I am for the right causes. I am for the right causes, and I will continue to be. The truth is, we must not keep quiet.
But if the governor has chosen to keep quiet, you're going to force him to speak?
Well, we're not forcing him to speak, but he has to know that he's the governor of the people. He's not similarly for himself. He's the governor of the people. And history will judge him if he keeps quiet and cover the evil that is brewing.
What if he says, I just said yesterday, no price too big to pay? So people don't like that part. They want him to say something else.
Well, let him resign. Let him resign, of course.
Resign?
Yes, let him resign.
Why?
If he feels that the price he will pay for appeasing Wike and his camp is his resignation. Let him resign.
Well, ultimately, look, whatever the people want is what should hold sway.
Exactly.
Democracy. So
we want peace. We want peace. We want true democracy and democratic values.
Right. Let's see some messages before we go this morning. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Epelle. He's the founder and CEO of TAF Africa. So the authorities must have heard what part of the people want also. This one is from Akinola, who says, oh, it's about police checkpoints. The police force needs to do integrity checks within their men and women in the force. I went to Owerri in August. I counted over 56 checkpoints/roadblocks. So bad, you will see the next checkpoint before you drive away, 100 meters apart. Checkpoint prolongs time travels. When you slow down, they stretch out their hand, wanting gratifications. This act is common with commercial vehicles who is policing.
It's not a handshake, it's just not trying to make light of it, but really, I mean, just some breaking news now coming from our correspondent in Rivers State. It says currently ongoing 26 Rivers State House of Assembly lawmakers are currently sitting, and single item for consideration, withdrawal of impeachment notice against Governor Sim Fubara. So more details are selling being.
Oh, okay.
But this is what our correspondent Charles Oporum is reporting from Rivers State. Oh, thank you so much for watching this morning. We have quite a lot of feedback. Hopefully we should be able to take them before the week is out. Thank you for watching. I'm Mark Welgo Yusuf.
For watching the program today, I am Bukola Koka.
And I'm Aya Makinde. Have a wonderful day.